Wilson has been a titan in the racket sports industry for years, but their pickleball equipment has left a lot to be desired. Fortunately, they did not throw in the towel and have rebuilt their performance lineup from the ground up with some products that are a huge step in the right direction. Let's check them out. Wilson's performance lineup features the elongated Blaze series and the standard shaped Tempo series with a few variants for each. So the Blaze is going to come in 3 variations: the Blaze 13, the Blaze 13 Pro, and the Blaze 16 Tour, while the Tempo on the other hand comes in only 2 models, the Tempo 16 and the Tempo 16 Pro. Let's dive into exactly what makes each one of these models special. The Tempo 16 is a classic sandwich style paddle, has a carbon fiber face, 16mm thickness, and the same raw texture as the rest of the lineup. It features a wide body shape and a shorter handle that made me feel like I was playing with a ping pong paddle. And the non-thermoformed construction made dinks and drops feel incredibly easy. The sweet spot felt enormous on this thing, and every amateur I lent it to testing it was able to make good contact regularly. The swing weight was low enough that I could generate good swing speed for putaways, but I was left wanting a little bit more in firefights and resorted to resetting over countering for my best results. Now the handle is pretty short, and players with 2-handed backhands may struggle to fit that second hand on, but for those with one, it's absolutely perfect to whip the paddle into position. Now I played a smarter game with this paddle than I usually do, and I have a feeling other players will too, but it's understandable to crave a little bit more put-away power than this thing can provide. Now, the Tempo 16 Pro is the thermoform version of the Tempo 16, but it has an entirely different personality on court. The higher twist weight gave us more forgiveness, but the paddle had kind of a hollow feel on contact that produced some serious power and required some adjustment to dial in drops and dinks. Now, the low swing weight, large sweet spot, and powerful construction made this thing a beast in hands battles. For players playing a flatter game for counterattacks, this is going to be an awesome choice. It wasn't the paddle that I would choose for my game, being someone that likes to whip and change the face angle really quickly. The high twist weight actually kind of held me back from being able to manipulate the paddle and the ball as easily as I would like to. But if you want to put the ball back in your opponent's chest in those hands battles, if you've come from table tennis and you feel comfortable playing a flatter game, like with a hard bat, you're going to absolutely love this thing. So the Blaze 13 is, like it sounds, a 13mm paddle. It uses the same classic sandwich structure that the Tempo does, but this one features a hybrid face layup of fiberglass and carbon fiber with that highly textured peel ply surface for that raw effect. Now, in a world of thermoformed raw carbon fiber paddles, I was impressed with the amount of performance Wilson was able to squeeze out of this thing. The paddle features really nicely shaped octagonal handle that I wish would become the standard, and even though it's got that exposed honeycomb on the edge, it really didn't bother me as much as others do. I really enjoyed playing this paddle on court, and a little bit of lead tape on the bottom corner, so it's going to go a long way on this paddle for a lot of people. So the Blaze 13 Pro is nearly identical to the Blaze 13. It just adds thermoformed construction to the mix, offering, a more solid and powerful feel like you would expect. The two paddles are incredibly similar, but I will say that the Pro has a stiffness to it that lets you know when you miss the sweet spot. And just like the classic Blaze, a little bit of weighted tape on the perimeter is going to help you feel like the sweet spot's a little bit larger and actually add some, forgiveness with the shock that this stiff paddle gives. Still a really fun paddle to play with. And for those that can hit the sweet spot consistently, you can create a lot of power with this. So in my mind, and I think in Wilson's too, the flagship of this lineup is going to be the Blaze 16 Tour. Features 16mm thermoform construction and all carbon fiber face layup with a peel ply resin texture for that raw feel, and a slick blacked out aesthetic, which doesn't hurt. The thicker construction and all carbon layup together gave me the most confident on-court playing experience of the three, and the slightly head-heavy balance matched with the elongated handle made for a really fun whippy experience that I just wanted to keep playing with. I never felt wanting for more spin or power, and I'd compare its performance to one of my favorites, the Diadem 18K Power Pro, or even a full-size version of the Franklin Sweet Spot Trainer. Now, with that elongated handle comes a pretty small face, so you do need to be a little bit more on your game to make sure you create good contact with the ball consistently. Intermediate and advanced players will love whipping this paddle into position, but it may not offer the sweet spot size beginners need to get their best play. Overall, even if I don't play the best with this paddle, I'm reaching for it every time it's in my bag. It's just so fun to play with. I'm stoked to see Wilson finally getting into the game with this latest launch, and though their innovation isn't groundbreaking in the industry, it's a huge step in the right direction, and it shows their commitment to being in pickleball for the long haul. Check out these and any other paddles at pickleballcentral.com.